On this video, we'll learn how to use the Paintbrush tool. With the Paintbrush, we can also freehand a path. But as we can see from the form, the path doesn't obey the width profile. There's another way to define how the stroke looks like. The tip of the brush. By default, the Paintbrush uses the tip of the brush. You can find the tips from the second row next to the width profiles. Now it shows the active tip, 5-point round. If I open the menu, I see the other normal brush tips, the calligraphy brushes, on the top row. Additionally to the 5-point round, there is also a 15-point round, 3 and 5-point oval, and a 5-point vertical brush tip. I return these to 5-point paksuisiksi pyöreiksi. The tip of the brush defines how thick the stroke is, but I can still change the weights from the stroke weight menu. Now the stroke weight is a multiplier for the width of the stroke. If I make the stroke weight 2, the stroke is now 10 points wide. 3 points makes it 15 points wide. If needed, I can make the stroke weight less than a point wide. Now the stroke is 0.25 times 5 points. If I want the brush to work like in Photoshop, that the pressure changes the width of the line, I need to choose from the menu's second row the Touch Calligraphic Brush tip. This is the only tip that has pressure sensitivity on by default. It creates a stroke with different weights. It's like creating a width profile of its own. If I stretch the path, also the profile stretches. With these strokes, I can also change the multiplier of the stroke width. If you use thin widths with the stroke, it's quite buggy. You can also create new calligraphic brushes. This can be done by opening the brush tip menu and clicking on the symbol of New. We want to create a normal brush, a calligraphic brush. The menu is quite similar to the one in the Photoshop. I can change the shape of the tip and the angle. On the bottom, I can change the width of the stroke. From here, I can add the pressure sensitivity. For this, I change the fixed to pressure. After this, I need to also set how much the pressure affects the size. If I put it now to 7, the width of the stroke is always at least 2 points. At max 16 points. Because the lines are paths, I can change the width. If I want to change a brush stroke to become a profile stroke, it's not enough to just set a width profile. The brush tip features override the profile. If I want to set the profile, I need to disable the brush tip. This can be done by selecting the basic brush tip. Practically it means that there is no brush tip. It's important to notice that the paintbrush and the width profile are not compatible. I need to use one or the other.